Thank you for joining us for this celebration of 250 years of the U.S. Army. I am Jim Hake, the founder and CEO at Spirit of America. We are a privately funded nonprofit, a 501c3 citizen service organization, and our team works alongside U.S. troops all over the world to provide private assistance in support of their missions, in support of their efforts to preserve the promise of a free and better life. And the promise of a free and better life is one of the things that the U.S. Army has helped attain and secure for 250 years.
So when I was 11 years old, I would read these two newspapers in Spokane, Washington, and also read Newsweek and Time magazine. And I was following the genocide in Cambodia. I was deeply bothered and impressed by like the horrific nature of what was happening over there. And I felt like I wanted to be in an organization that could perhaps stop something like a genocide or offer help to the civilians. And growing up on John Wayne movies and reading my history as I kept getting a little older about how the Army helped liberate Europe, how the Army helped liberate this country, that country, I came to the conclusion that the Army was the greatest, most well-funded, well-resourced human rights organization that ever existed. So they don't just talk about human rights; they actually go out and liberate people willing to put their lives on their lines and walk their values. And the Army, I felt, allowed me a chance throughout my entire 24 years of wearing a uniform to stay on that same line of continuity, to do things to help those who are most vulnerable out on this planet that we inhabit.
What has remained constant and why the Army does keep rolling along is it is the ultimate merit-based profession. But the fact is, when you're in combat, you don't care what color somebody's hair is or what color their skin is or what their religion is. You want to know that they can perform their tasks. And that's been a consistent since 1775. And the best units were always the ones that focused on readiness, on training, whether it was if you were in a 113 or a Bradley or a Stryker or an Abrams or an Apache, it didn't matter. Focused on training and readiness. If they are physically fit, they're good with their weapon, and they trust each other, then there's nobody that can stop you. So that's been a constant. At the same time that our technology changed and that our society changed around us, and I think we changed with it.
I remember in Afghanistan, I was General Raltexo. General Petraeus had called, and he was in his hooch, and he was in his hooch. We went and got him in the aid, and when we entered, he was kneeling at the foot of his bed, writing condolence letters. And if that didn't really, he wasn't sitting at his desk. He went to a private place. He knelt in his really posture of prayer, and was really taking, he's putting his whole heart into these condolence letters in a way that just hit me like, holy cow. So anyway, those are two things that just really stand out to me.
So I have carried this copy of the Constitution with me for the last
Awesome.
26 years. I mean, you can see it's pretty dog-eared. I've used it many different times for different reasons. I kept this with me. And, there's a reason that we affirm the oath every time a soldier reenlists or there's a promotion over and over and over and over and over so that it's in the fiber of who we are.
And I think that's why I was so taken by Spirit of America, and that instead of having to wait for, say, a high school in Minot, North Dakota to send something, some books, or to maybe wait for Congress to allow us the authorities and the appropriations to give us money so people can spend money on bringing soccer balls over and things like that, Spirit of America identified it under your leadership, Jim. Spirit of America identified this gap or this seam in our ability to connect with people, to find stuff that we need, whether they're medical kits, whether there are things that allow us to connect with the civilian populace. That's why I am so proud to be on this call today and to be a part of the advisory board, because you've not only found this gap and you've filled it, but you've really mechanized it in a way that it can be counted on, to where you can go out and talk to an ambassador or a commander in the field and ask, what is it do you need? What do you need that you can't get anywhere else? And Spirit of America can find a way to fulfill it. So overall, it's a great question, but for most of my Army career, when I was out in the field, there was nothing. And now, due to Spirit of America, there is something, and there's a path, a mechanized, repeatable, cookie cutter path to get help through this organization that we're all part of.
there's occasionally the debate about whether America is exceptional or not. And, my view is that what we stand for is 100% exceptional. We have to earn exceptional every day. We've got to do that every day. That's that's when we are exceptional. And I want to thank each of the three of you for your exceptional service of being exceptional Americans, and you earn it every day in the work that you continue to do. I'm proud to have you as part of the Spirit of America team, proud to know you, and thank you so much for being with us today.